Special thanks to our members for supporting the channel. Follow the link here if you want to join. Welcome home, residents. It's your Mayor Alistair back once again, delivering some pretty catastrophic news, if I do say so myself. Now, for context, of course, every Monsterverse film up to Godzilla vs. Kong had different directors, right? There was Gareth Edwards for 2014, and then Vogt Roberts, then Doherty, and then Adam Wingard, who was brought on in 2017 to make the fourth entry in the Monsterverse. That film was obviously a huge critical and box office success, being praised as the reason that audiences felt safe going to the cinemas again after a long pandemic.
Big weekend at the box office with Godzilla vs. Kong, the biggest blockbuster of the pandemic, leaving a lot of people wondering if this signals a return to the movies.
And I still love that film. It's probably my second favorite in the series. So, as we know, he was brought back to make the follow-up Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, which released just over a month ago, and that is set to overcome Kong Skull Island as the highest-grossing Monsterverse film ever, with amazing non-verbal storytelling, fun characters, and brilliant Titan action. So everything was set for Adam to finish his trilogy with a third Godzilla Kong team-up film. He spent the last few weeks hyping up his ideas and what he's going to do, which means he was on track to deliver the finale of his story, so in only a few years we could have the climactic Adam Wingard.
And it's gone!
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
Yep, Adam Wingard is out. In a surprise announcement, The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that Adam Wingard will not be returning to finish his trilogy. Now, this isn't because Legendary have dropped him due to clashing creative interests or some made-up on-set drama. It's actually because Adam is shooting an original horror film over at A24 titled Onslaught, which is set to start filming fall of this year. So unfortunately, he won't have time to direct the upcoming Monsterverse film. So yeah, this is quite worrying for a few reasons. Firstly, it shows that Legendary is itching to get a move on with the next Godzilla Kong film, so much so that they aren't willing to wait for their lead creative head, the one that's responsible for resuscitating the franchise and giving us our biggest film ever, which means that they might be rushing into it far too quickly, which could leave us with a poorly made film. This means that Legendary is looking to have the follow-up release in 2026, in only 2 years' time. Typically, these films take 3 years to make, from pre-production, shooting, visual effects, and editing, which is also a good amount of time to make sure audiences don't get that kaiju fatigue. But with 2 years, audiences might not be as hungry for a new Godzilla Kong film as they were for The New Empire. Secondly, it means we won't get a proper conclusion to the themes and direction set up in Wingard's films. Part of the reason they worked so well is because of the consistency. It's the first time the Monsterverse had music cues and themes that followed through from the previous one. The visual style is consistent, it had the same writers, same cinematographers, and we got the same characters returning and actually expanded upon. But now we'll have a different writer and director, there's a chance the characters that we actually really liked might be dropped, alongside the hints that Wingard was giving us with what we can expect with the next film. If you recall, Wingard said he wanted to channel the same emotions from Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and that he wanted to take the next film in an overall darker direction, focusing more on Godzilla this time since Kong has had the limelight for the last 2 entries. Of course, I wish Adam luck with his oncoming horror film, and I'll be eager to see it in theaters, but it's a bit irritating that Legendary won't just wait a year for him to finish his film before he jumps back into the Monsterverse. The last time Legendary didn't wait for the director of the previous film to return, we ended up with Pacific Rim Uprising.
What the hell? My grandmother used to play it for me. Keeps me calm. What about me? Not calm, man, not calm!
So I pray we don't end up in that situation. Possibly my biggest worry is that another director will come in and try imitate Wingard's style, trying to implement that more fantastical aspects of the new empire without any of the charm, being a pale imitation of someone else's work instead of the craft of a passionate filmmaker just expressing himself. But that said, who could come in to replace Wingard? We already know that Dave Callaham is writing the next film, whose previous work includes Shang-Chi, Spider-Verse, and the first draft of Godzilla 2014. So, will we see a new director step up? Perhaps Ben Wheatley from Meg 2, Aquaman's James Wan, or maybe even an old one like Michael Dougherty. I've seen some people say Del Toro, but his style is so dramatically different to what the Monsterverse has set up so far. But his sense of scale is excellent, to be fair, so maybe? Personally, I think the perfect choice would be Michael Matthews from Love and Monsters. That film was charming as hell and managed to balance the fun with emotional scenes and moments of horror. So I think he would be a great addition to the Monsterverse family. So all in all, I am worried about the next Monsterverse film. I don't want them to drop that sense of consistency that has been established, and I do want more of a Godzilla-centric film with that darker tone that Wingard was hinting towards. But it is worth remembering that just because Wingard isn't directing, it doesn't mean that he won't be creatively involved at all. He could still be assisting the writing or producing, it just means he won't have time to properly steer the ship. So hopefully his ideas still follow through with Godzilla and Kong 3. But what do you think? Is Adam leaving a good or bad thing? And who would you get to direct? Let us know in the comment section down below. For more news about the upcoming Godzilla Kong sequel, subscribe and stomp the notification button to become a resident of DangerVille today. And give this video a big old Kong-sized thumbs up. Go on, give it a go. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you residents in the next